Hello children, once again welcome to our biology class 8. Till yesterday what did we learn? We learnt diversity in cells. What did we learn? Diversity in cells. Diversity in cells, we understood that unicellular are there, unicellular, multicellular. Multicellular organisms are there, unicellular organisms are there. Suppose when I say unicellular organisms, it means that we'll simply think that all unicellular organisms look alike. Obviously not. When all multicellular organisms like us are not looking alike, then how can all the unicellular organisms look alike? So for example, yesterday I told you about Chlamydomonas, which looks like a coconut. Chlamydomonas, it is looking different. Amoeba, it looks different, but I like its difference. And then Paramecium, this is Euglena. Euglena, it looks different. And then Escherichia coli, it looks different. Unicellular organisms have their own differences again. They are single celled only, but they are different. In multicellular also, they are different. For example, plants. Plants are again of two types. Monocotyledons, monocot plants are there, monocotyledon plants are there, and dicots are there. So their cellular arrangement is again different. If you take a glass blade, what is the major difference between, by seeing itself, how can you notice whether it is a monocot or a dicot? The leaf, when you are observing, the leaf has parallel venation like this, that is monocot. If the leaf is having reticulate venation like this, it is a dicot. By seeing itself, we understand whether it is a dicot plant or a monocot plant. Now take a glass blade, glass leaf, we call grass blade means grass leaf. If we take a grass leaf, we call it actually blade, children, and take a transfer section of it and observe it under the microscope. We simply observe the cellular arrangement being like this. The cellular arrangement is very clearly noticed like this, right? Of course, nucleus is present. We can never forget the presence of nucleus. It looks greenish, and that cellular arrangement is there. The same way, if you take a dicot stem, let us take a tender plant, and then put it in a thermocol sheet and slice it of thin things, and then you get round thin slice. That slice you put it on a glass slide and observe. Put it on a drop of water on a glass slide and put a cover slip on that and observe it under the microscope. What do you understand? Of course, this is also you have to do like that only. What do you observe? I want to draw the diagram and show. It looks very complicated, children, but it's not that complicated. Shall I wipe this? Yeah, for your sake, I'm going to wipe it. Now, what do you see in that? Once all of you see, just draw. We don't want a very symmetrical circle, because no stem looks really symmetrically round. If you draw a little different also, wonderfully natural look it gets. So what do you have? You have the outermost layer like this, children. Imagine you have the outermost layer like this. It is a protective layer. It is a protective layer, outermost layer, which is protective in nature. Anytime the outermost layers are protective in nature. Why do you wear clothes? For protection. Why is the skin not present on your body? For protection. Like that. Any outward, this thing is protective. And then you have thin green colored cells like this. In that you notice prominently green in color, and they are, just draw pentagonal or hexagonal cells like this, children. You don't need to think that if the size and symmetry should be same, nothing like that. However, you can draw, just make it look like a cell, that's all. The cell is not going to come and fight with you anyways. Just draw a second layer. so that because when I am talking about it being green in color, it means that it is preparing photosynthesis, right? If it is too small, how can it prepare so much of food for the whole plant and for itself and for us also? That's why, to make it sure, we are going to draw the second layer, right? So this is second layer, green in color. This is outer layer, definitely for protection, and this is green in color, so for photosynthesis. And then you have triangular shaped structures like this, looking like a flower and its petal, no? Thank God. Okay, now you see how I am drawing. I am drawing dark colored ones, and then I am drawing light colored ones. I will explain to you. These dark colored ones are which are transporting water in the plant. That means they are collecting water from the roots. They are collecting water from the roots. And these light colored cells that I am drawing, they are not looking that conspicuous, but they are transporting food from this dicot leaf to the rest of the plant. So they are also, even though they are not very clearly seen, they are playing a vital role. And then the rest of it is again filled with the cells. Rest of it again is filled with the cells. Inside it looks so spacious. It looks so spacious. If you observe any tender plant, the inside there is a hollow in that. An empty space will be there. Inside an empty space will be there. That is this. So now let us see. This is transport. Transport what? Food and water. And then this one is the center of the stem, right? So there are four parts which are visible. These are dicot. This is in dicots. In monocots, you simply saw a blade of in leaf we saw. So in monocot plant, will there not be this kind of arrangement? Means that we will learn in our next sessions. Before that, now let us see how much. There are how many parts which we have seen in the transverse section of a dicot stem? We saw 4 parts. What type of dicot stem can you see? You can observe even spinach. It is easily available. You can cut it delicately. You can easily cut it. Now that's all. Now in activity, this is activity 6, children. This is activity 6. When it comes to activity 7, now in unicellular organisms we noticed, in multicellular plants we notice. So in animals we need to notice, no? In animals, what are the different types of cells which are there? That I am going to show you now. Okay, I hope you got this right. Next, because I need the space, I am going to wipe the board. So in animals, in activity 7, animal cells. In animal cells, till now what did you notice? You noticed only cheek cells. How are the cheek cells? Simply I drew like this, and then I said they are cheek cells, and I made you by force to accept it. Of course, because there is no option for us to check it under a microscope, you need to accept the fact that I am saying they are like that. You need to accept it. But is that all? Now let us see what are the different kinds of cells which are present in our body. What are those different kinds? Let us see. Smooth muscle cell, and then striated. Children, most of the children get they think this is straighted. Striated is different. Striations means markings are there. Striated muscle. Smooth muscle and striated muscle cell, and then bone cell, and then nerve cell. Okay, these are 4 things. And then in blood you have RBC and then WBC. RBC and WBC. RBC and WBC. WBC is again of 2 types. Now first let us see smooth muscle cell. The name itself says that it is smooth, so it is spindle shaped. Smooth muscle cell, it is spindle shaped like this. Okay, and then striations means striations are there like this. This is a muscle cell. It has dark and white bands. The bands are like this. So striated muscle. Bone cell is star shaped. It is star shaped. Bone cell is star shaped. How is nerve cell? Nerve cell is long. Fiber like. It is fiber like with axon present or axon absent. This is nerve cell, this is bone cell. Star shaped, fiber shaped, striated muscle, smooth muscle. And RBC is biconcave in nature like this or like this. If you see normally like this, it looks circular disc like, but if you see from the side, you notice that it is biconcave. And then WBC and RBC, granulocytes and agranulocytes. Agranulocytes. Granulocytes are again of 3 types: basophil, eosinophil and neutrophil. Basophil, eosinophil and neutrophil. There are 3 types of granulocytes, and agranulocytes are monocytes and leukocytes. Let me wipe the board and explain to you. I hope you took it well here. Now I am going to wipe the board. Basophils, neutrophils, eosinophils. These are granulocytes, and agranulocytes are monocytes and leukocytes. Next session I will draw them clearly for you. Thank you, children.